Welcome back to my writing channel. My name is Josie, and today is a very exciting day because we get to read the one and only exclusive second draft of my thriller novel. Nobody else has ever seen, well, I would say ever seen a word, but I think I have shared a few clips on my channel, but nobody's ever read the whole thing, and I am about to, and I'm very excited. I put a PDF of my book on my tablet. There's 327 pages to get through. It's around like 91,000 words. And I don't really have much to do today. I have like one meeting in the afternoon, but otherwise, my plan is just to try and read this as quickly as possible. Like, I want to feel like I am a reader, having never heard of this story before, getting fully engrossed, like binge reading this thing from start to finish. Like, I really want to try and read the whole thing as quickly as possible. Luckily, it's a beautiful day, so I'm able to read outside. This will take me quite a few hours, so I think I'll probably like switch up where I'm reading throughout this experience. I'm excited to see if all the work I've been doing over the last like 8 months, is it 8 months? I don't know, I kind of threw that number out there, but since like October, all of that work has resulted in a good story. So, initial quick first impressions. I feel like a little bit embarrassed by my writing, but I don't know if it's because I actually think the writing is cringy, or it's like, you know how you think that like every photo of yourself looks bad or your voice sounds bad? Like, I think it's that. I can like hear myself in the writing, and it just like it's a little tough, but and there's definitely points where I'm like, you really tried to do that. Ooh, I don't know if it worked. But, you know, that's the point of the next draft, is to really hone in on the writing and make that as good as it can be. So I'm going to try and like push that to the back of my mind. The actual writing, the word choice doesn't really matter right now. It's the story. So we have to focus on the story. I hadn't intended to take like any notes while I've been doing this read through, but I quickly found little things that I'd introduced at the beginning that I don't think I gave payoff to. So I decided to pull out a notebook just to start keeping track of small stuff, just so that way I remembered it for the next draft. It is already 4 o'clock, if you can believe it, and we are only on page 58 of 327. So we have a long way to go. I will say I was getting distracted. I felt like I had a bunch of pent up energy, so I went for like an hour-long walk, and then I only had like half an hour before my meeting, so then I just decided to do nothing until my meeting, and that was like an hour and a half. So now we are going to buckle down. I don't have anything this evening. I'm home alone. Jonah is out playing some music. So all I'm going to do is just sit around and read, and it's going to be great because I've actually been really enjoying the last couple chapters. I feel like I've been able to really forget about the fact that this is like my own story. I mean, I do know it's my story, especially because like I know what's coming, but it's just been really fun because I've moved around different flashbacks, and so when one of those flashbacks comes up, it's sometimes like I didn't expect it to be there, and it's just really fun to see how everything's being tied together. I have been, of course, noticing little spelling mistakes or little inconsistencies where I called something slightly different in a different place, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to keep having a blast. So to get focused on reading, I am planning to put up the hammock for the first time this year, out in the sun. I'm actually a pretty fast reader. Like when I read fiction books, I usually don't read a book for longer than a week before I'm done. Usually like it takes me 2 or 3 days. I just get like so engrossed in them. So I really do feel like I can finish this today. Like I don't think that's too crazy to expect of myself. And so let's do it. I feel like every time I put a hammock up, I tend to tie it slightly different. So we'll see how today goes. I just made it. There we go. Now it's the moment of truth. Do you think that this will hold me? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Last but not least, tablet with the book, pillow, and blanket. So let's go. The wind started to pick up, so after trying to use a second blanket, I gave up after about, I think, an hour of reading outside. So I made myself a hot cup of tea and migrated indoors for a little bit more reading. I was so confident that I could finish this book tonight, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I just hit the 50% mark and it is like past 7 p.m. and I'm already so tired. I've actually been debating taking a nap. But also, I don't want to mess up my sleep schedule. But I do really want to try and finish it relatively quickly. The next few days are pretty busy, which is why I wanted to get it done today, but I'm sure I can find time throughout the day. But I'm gonna keep reading. I'm like, we're not calling it quits for today yet. Like, I'm gonna maybe take a break. I think I'm gonna bake some cookies and then we're gonna come back to it and see how far we can get. And I know that I'm not supposed to be paying attention to the words, like the written language of the story, but I have to admit, there's been some moments where I'm like, that was a really good passage. That was a really good internal thought, a really good description. So I think the further I'm getting in, the less I'm criticizing it, and I'm actually kind of excited about what I have been doing. There was a period where it felt a little slow, like I was starting to lose some focus just at maybe like the 30 or 40% mark. And I don't know if that's because I was getting tired at that point or I was just like excited for the next section to come up, or if that section is actually, not really paced super well. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye out for. But otherwise, I'm having a great time. It's such a weird experience reading your own story because it's always just so trippy reading my own writing, like especially when it's long form like this, because I feel like there is this little bit of a disconnect when you're reading it really fast and you're not worried about editing. So you can kind of see it from a reader's perspective, but at the same time, it's like you wrote every single word. Everything that's in there is a reflection of you and how you see the world. I don't want to get too deep on this, but I just think it's really interesting how, like, as human beings, we all see the world differently. And so when you have all these different people writing books, I feel like their perspective on certain interactions, their perspective on social norms are all slightly different, right? Like, you can do your best to try and make like characters different, to try and give different perspectives within a book, but it's really all just like facets of yourself that's in it. And so I've been told that when people are reading my writing, like they can hear me in the words because that's how I'm describing it, right? Like I can't help but put my own essence in how the characters behave and how they see the world, like a skewed version of it for sure. Like my characters aren't me. Yeah, if you ever read any of my books, please, I do not believe the things that my characters believe. Some of them are crazy. They are not me. But yeah, I just really wish I could read my books without having any memory of writing them. I think that would be such a crazy experience. Maybe in like 20 years, if I go back and read a book I've written, maybe I'll have like forgotten everything by then. But I knew not finishing my read through that first day was going to delay this process more than I would have wanted, because it would have been really great to have finished in 2 or 3 days. But the next couple days after that were really busy. I did manage to get some reading done. I would kind of fit it in the morning before I had to go to work or between like work and evening plans, but I did not make very much progress. And so it is now Sunday. That first day was Wednesday. So we are on the 5th day of reading my book, and we are on page 254 of 327 on chapter 31. So I think I can get it done today. I really hope I get it done today. It is 4 p.m. I should be able to. But this has definitely dragged on a lot longer than I wanted to. I feel like a bit more disconnected from the beginning of the story at this point. But, it is what it is. It's the summer now. Plans are piling up, so I just kind of have to expect it. I haven't gotten to the end yet, but I will say that I've been noticing the things I want to improve on in the next draft. So the next draft's going to be more of like a line level edit. And I can definitely notice a trend of not using as much physical description as I should. Like, I think I need to take more time to describe the surroundings, to describe people. And also, I need to pare down on the internal monologues, the internal thoughts, because I find that my main character will say something to themselves like, oh, this is how I feel. But then you also get that through other means. Like, you can also get a hint of that through what she's saying to other characters, through her actions. And so I feel like I really need to pare that down and think about when I want to include certain information, how I want to include it, and making sure it's not duplicated. But anyways, I need to stop delaying this any further and just get to reading. It is pouring outside. It was coming down even harder like an hour ago, and we have like a metal roof, so you can just hear the pounding. So I didn't start filming then, but I did finish the read through of the second draft of my thriller novel. So we've officially gone through and read the 91,000 words. And I think, like general thoughts, I'm really pleased with the story and how it turned out. I do think it doesn't really need any big developmental edits, so I think I did really good with that in the last draft. But there's definitely stuff that I need to change, especially towards the end. Like I feel like there's specific scenes that focus too much on like this internal monologue conflict kind of going on. I really want to show that a lot more than I am saying it like verbatim through using like context in conversations or in actions. So that's something I need to work on. But all that I think is pretty doable to do in the line by line revision, because I'm going to go through and work on it like chapter by chapter. And so within a chapter, I'm going to make sure, that the chapter's arc is good, that everything's organized the way I want it, that the point of that chapter is being communicated correctly, And so because everything is like kind of scene level at this point that I want to change, we're good. I think I'm so keen on diving into draft 3. But I'm not going to start on draft 3 quite yet, because I feel like in the past when I've done a line edit, I've just kind of gone for it. But this is my weakest aspect of writing, I think, is that line level. Like, I think I do have some good passages, but holding it through for 90,000 words is a challenge for me. So I think I'm going to spend a few days trying to find resources and maybe find exercises to help me improve with that before I go straight into the revision process. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I'm going to brainstorm a little bit, but I think that's it for this video. We read the whole thing. Took 5 days, wanted to have taken less time, but that's okay. Feeling really good about it still. It's given me a lot of clarity as to the weaknesses, especially for the line level weaknesses. But I think a lot of the bigger things will only really come about once I've let other people read it and I can kind of get another perspective on it. So thank you for making it to the end of this video, and I will catch you in the next one.